have changed through the years, one thing remains the same. This is the pinnacle of college baseball, the place where champions are made. Bregman. Fans are unmatched, the atmosphere unbeatable. From hot dogs to beach balls to seas of team colors. With every diving snack, ping of the bat, anticipation, excitement, and heartbreak are inevitable. Will we see a past champion return to the top? Back-to-back national titles. Or will a new team take the throne? Mississippi State, the national champions. The road to Omaha starts right here, right now.
Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Championship Selection Special, presented by Capital One.
There ain't no party like a watch party. Look at these big screens, about 28 of them, at least, with dreams of ending their season with a dog pile at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska. Let the road to Omaha begin. Matt Schick, Kyle Peterson, Mike Rooney, we've got Omaha covered here. Played in Omaha, has been to Omaha, lived in Omaha. Here we go. Let's have some fun here announcing the field of 64. KP, what are you most excited for today?
I mean, obviously it's where everybody slots. I think the biggest question is it's kind of Tennessee and everybody else. They've been so good this year. Who's going to give them a run?
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, the bubble shrank like we've never seen before, and there's so many contradictions in this field. Teams with great RPIs, maybe the regular season's different. I think about teams like Arkansas, DBU, TCU. TCU won their regular season, but not a host. A lot for this committee to tangle with.
It'll be very interesting to see how the committee seeds these teams, who's in and who's out. Maybe a day paved with some surprises. We have the 16 host cities, host schools. Those were announced last night. You look at the map, we go to Corvallis, we go to Palo Alto, we'll be at Miami. Smart Light Shakes, I think, might be on the docket as well, KP?
Yeah, that's an absolute when you go down there. I think surprises, I did not expect to see Auburn on this list. I did expect to see Notre Dame on this list. And Runes, anything else that jumps out to you?
And it's 2 years in a row, tough news on the hosting front for Notre Dame. Georgia Southern being a host is so cool. Love to see that for the sport.
You see Maryland as well. We'll get to that in just a moment. Again, here's a little Tournament 101, how the NCAA tournament works. 64 in the field, 16 regionals, 4 at each site. It's double elimination. Those 16 winners advance to best 2 out of 3 super regionals, and those 8 winners advance to the College World Series with a pair of 14 brackets, and then a College World Series finals, best 2 out of 3 series. You mentioned some of the very interesting host schools that you mentioned. How about Tennessee? We knew they were going to get in, the Tennessee Volunteers, as the number 1 overall seed. They are in. They are the number 1 overall seed. We'll run down the top 8 here in just a moment, and here are the top 8. The logos, some with watch parties, some without. Tennessee, Stanford, Oregon State. Again, it's important to get a top 8 because the road to Omaha goes through your school and your campus, assuming that you get out of the regional round. And we begin with the Tennessee Volunteers, SEC regular and tournament champions.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of suspense in this one. Tennessee's been the number 1 seed since it feels like April 1st this year. Incredibly consistent, pick a superlative. That's the way Tennessee has been. How about leading the country in ERA and home runs? In fact, nobody's hit more home runs than Tennessee has in almost 25 years.
Number 2 overall seed, Mike Rooney, the Stanford Cardinal, hosting a regional for the 20th time.
Matt, I like pitching, and Stanford's got an ace in Alex Williams. They've also got high-end position player talent. Brock Jones, a dynamic freshman, and Braden Montgomery. Cardinal were really hot late.
And there's the tournament 16-game win streak. The number 3 overall seed, Kyle Peterson, is the Oregon State Beavers, trying to get to the College World Series for the 3rd time in the last 5 tournaments.
Well, they're used to playing at home. 4th time in the last 5 years that Oregon State has hosted. Jacob Melton's the player of the year in the league. Jerpy, remember that name, 10-2, 140 punch-outs. He leads the nation in strikeouts per nine, and that place, when Oregon State has it going, can be a really tough place to play.
21st tournament appearance. How about Virginia Tech, the number 4 overall seed, Mike Rooney, ACC regular season champ.
Best season in school history, an electric position player group. Center fielder Gavin Cross could be a first-round pick. Shortstop Tanner Schobel right there. A Dustin Pedroia clone. And Drew Hackenberg, the youngest of the Hackenberg boys, is their ace.
Third in the ACC with a 2.83 earned run average, or something like that exactly. Number 4 seed. How about the number 5 seed, Kyle Peterson, the Texas A&M Aggies, and head coach Tim Schlossnagle in his first year.
I think it's one of the biggest turnarounds and surprises in the country this year. Texas A&M didn't make the SEC tournament last year, let alone the NCAA tournament. But now they come back, and Schloss's first year, and it has totally transformed that ballpark. Bubbles have been flying all year. They won 8 of 10 series in the SEC. That's how you become a top 8.
Won the final 7 conference series this season to win the SEC West title. How about back in the ACC, the number 6 overall seed, the Miami Hurricanes, hosting the regional for the 28th time.
We got a lot of lopsided teams in college baseball this year, but Miami's not one of them. CJ Kafis, kind of a Mark Kotze at the top of their order. Andrew Walters, their closer, has been unhittable this year.
Top 10 in strikeouts per 9 innings. They're in Division I, 48th tournament appearance. How about more tradition-rich programs? Oklahoma State gets the number 7 overall seed, led by head coach Josh Holliday.
Yeah, I mean, they got a coaching staff that's a bunch of big league all-stars in Oklahoma State. When you look at this, Runes, it felt like 1 through 5, 1 through 6, we knew about what it was going to be. Then you get to that spot, weren't sure who 7 and 8 were going to be. Oklahoma State, maybe a little bit of a surprise to be the top 7. That means, man, they keep winning, and everything's going to roll through that ballpark, and they have packed it all year.
How about East Carolina, the second time as a top 8, also did it back in 2001, 32nd NCAA tournament appearance. Most regional appearances without a trip to Omaha, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, this team's tough. Battle of Diversity, lost their ace, Carson Wisenhunt for the year. Carter Spivey, their key reliever, American Pitcher of the Year. That love the toughness of this team.
18-game win streak, so there are your top 8. Let's go down from the top left, working our way down. We begin with the Knoxville Regional, number 1 overall seed. The Tennessee Volunteers led in 59 of their 60 games this season, 141 bombs, leading Division I. They will open up against the SWAC champion, Alabama State Hornets, their second NCAA tournament appearance. Alabama State Hornets, they're getting ready. They're getting ready and locked and loaded. Their watch party is a little more exciting than that. There's some guy staring at them. Campbell Camels are in. They get over the hump. Sorry for the pun. Fourth straight NCAA tournament appearance out of the Big South. 111 home runs. Top 10 in Division I. They will open up against Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Danny Hall, more than 1,100 wins. Their 34th tournament appearance. And there you see their pixelated watch party. They're much more clear in person. Kyle Peterson, there is your Knoxville Regional.
Yeah, what's clear is it's going to be a tough road in Knoxville. That environment's totally been flipped in the last few years. They were scalping tickets a few years ago when I was there, or a few weeks ago when I was there. They're going to be doing it again. We get a chance to see Kevin Parada on the big stage, too, who will hear his name called really early in the Major League Draft this year. And he'll go to a ballpark that he's going to like to hit it, too.
Leads the SEC with 85 runs batted in. Great to see Statesboro Regional there on a graphic. Very cool. There is Georgia Southern head coach Rodney Hennon hosting a regional for the first time in program history. Their first regional since 2014. Top 10 in fielding percentage are the Eagles. They will open up against the UNCG Spartans. A little bit of a bid stealer there, perhaps, out of the SoCon. Their 4th tournament appearance there. Head coach Billy Godwin leading the way. Texas Tech. Oh, how about a team that just knows how to get to Omaha? 6 straight regionals for Tim Tadlock's Red Raiders. Led the Big 12 in scoring. Jace Young crossed the plate 66 times this year. Notre Dame Fighting Irish don't get the host in Link Jarrett's club. 24th tournament appearance, back-to-back appearances for the first time since joining the ACC, Mike Rooney. So the Knoxville Regional matched up with the Statesboro Regional.
Yeah, Georgia Southern, fun team, older, played great defense. Jesse Sherrill, their second baseman, nearly a 500 on base percentage. Tech and Notre Dame were both in supers last year. That's a neat little regional right there.
How about Texas Tech and Notre Dame? headed to Georgia Southern, the champs out of the Sun Belt. Moving on down, the Austin Regional. Been there, done that. Texas Longhorns out of the Big 12, 42 wins on the season. Ivan Melendez, 29 home runs, most in program history, most in Division I. Disch-Falk Field will play host to Air Force Falcons. It's been since 1969. Mike Rooney was a coach. Top 10 in batting average out of the Mountain West. Congratulations to the Falcons getting into the field. Dallas Baptist, the Patriots out of Missouri Valley. They are in the 11th NCAA tournament appearance. Got bounced in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Did take 2 of 3 from Maryland and wins over TCU, OU, Oklahoma State. So they are in, and they will open up against Louisiana Bulldogs out of Conference USA. And head coach Lane Burroughs, they're making their 9th tournament appearance. Taylor Young has crossed the plate most out of Division I 85 times. Kyle Peterson.
Longhorns made it to the Big 12 tournament championship, but finished 2 games back at TCU in the regular season. We don't usually think of Disch-Falk as being offensive. Things have changed a little bit, it looks. Ivan Melendez leads the country with 29 home runs. Murphy Staley had 1 career home run before this year. He has 17 this year. It's a different type of Texas offense.
Peyton Graham, great player as well. Big 12 tournament, MOP, 16 home runs, 30 stolen bases. The Greenville Regional, East Carolina. Again, the 2nd time as a top 8 and hosting a regional for the 7th time and the 4th straight. Will this be the year that they get to the College World Series? There they are, head coach Cliff Godwin. His 300 wins there in 8 seasons. Yeah, a little bit of a golf clap. We knew we were in. Good to see a top 8. And they will face the Coppin State Eagles out of the MEAC. Their first tournament appearance 10 years ago. This team went 1-53 and 0-24 in league play. 10 years later, they're on the road to Omaha. Very, very cool. How about a team that's been to Omaha before? In this regional, Coastal Carolina won the national championship back in 2016. We're in. We are in. 18th tournament appearance out of the Sun Belt. Gary Gilmore and company are back. And they will face another team familiar with Omaha. Brian O'Connor has been there before. 5-time College World Series appearances. And the 2015 CWS champ, single-season program record in home runs. And Virginia will take on Coastal Carolina. And there is that regional, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, Greenville, it's old hat for them hosting regional. It's going to be a great atmosphere there. You look at Coastal Carolina, really good in the rotation. We're hot late, great year for the Sun Belt. And Virginia, the first half of the season, was a top 5 program.
Yeah, Jake Geloff and company, 72 home runs, most in program history, back-to-back appearances for UVA. And there would be, that's the regionals matching up the Austin winner and the Greenville winner. Moving on down on the left-hand side, the College Station Regional, Bluebell Park. What a turnaround for Jim Schlossnagel's Texas A&M Aggies. Won their final 7 conference series this year. Trying to get to Omaha for the first time since 2017. Also the last time they made a super. Who will the Aggies open up against on their road to Omaha? Oral Roberts Golden Eagles out of the Summit League. Their 29th time making the road to Omaha. Led the Summit League in earned run average. Legend Smith, top pitchers in the Summit League. Head coach Ryan Fulmer getting this team back in the tournament. Louisiana Raging Cajuns pulled off a little bit of a surprise there in that Sun Belt tournament. Head coach Matt Daggs in his 3rd season, getting this team back on the road to Omaha for the first time since 2016. 6th nationally as a program in stolen bases with 134. They'll test that speed against the TCU Horned Frogs and head coach Kurt Sarles. 18th NCAA tournament appearance. Big 12 dominated that, or did very well in the Big 12. Got bounced in that conference tournament game.
There's no storylines in this one. No, is it?
How
TCU
about
going to
that?
College Station. Jim Schlossnagel's first year at Texas A&M, formerly at TCU, and Kurt Sarlos takes the helm. For that Aggie team, we talked about it. Dylan Rock has been so good for him offensively. The transfer from UTSA has led an offensive barrage.
The College Station Regional is paired up with the Louisville Regional. And head coach Dan McDonald, they get the number 12 overall seed, their 14th appearance in this NCAA tournament. 5 College World Series appearances, their last coming in 2019. Won their division. And they will face Southeast Missouri State, the Redhawks out of the Ohio Valley. And head coach Andy Sawyer is getting it done in his 6th season, their 5th tournament appearance at back-to-back regionals for the first time in program history. Elsewhere in the Louisville Regional, how about the run Michigan and head coach Eric Bakich went on? They were the 5 seed of the Big Ten tournament, beat all top 4 seeds, scored 45 runs in those 4 wins. 2019 CWS Finals, remember, runner-up just a few short years ago. And they will face the Oregon Ducks. 9th tournament appearance, back-to-back appearances after missing 4 straight regionals. Led the Pac-12 in hitting. Anthony Hall could swing a bat, hitting the Pac-12. Mike Rooney.
Could be one of the most offensive regionals we have. Louisville and Oregon, 2 of the most athletic position player groups in the country, and SEMO hits a bunch of bombs.
Back to the Aggies and TCU. TCU eliminated Texas A&M the last time the Aggies made it to Omaha. That was in the College World Series. Now Jim Schlossnagle might have a date with his former team. Back to the bracket. I mean, we're not even halfway done. You having fun, boys?
Let's go.
Gainesville Regional, the Florida Gators. Number 13 national seed, Kevin O'Sullivan. More than 600 wins in 15 seasons. Past CWS champ. They've won 16 of 21. SEC tournament runner-up, Judd Fabian, Wyatt Langford. Facing Central Michigan, which was able to beat Ball State to win the MAC tournament championship. Their 3rd straight tournament appearance. Mario Camilletti, one of the best in the MAC. Facing, how about the Liberty Flames in the Atlantic Sun in the other part of that regional? Head coach Scott Jackson, their 8th tournament appearance and their 3rd straight regional appearance. Who will they face? The Oklahoma Sooners, Skip Johnson. They won the Big 12 tournament championship and their 18th tournament appearance. Kyle Peterson.
This one's loaded for me. It's loaded. And Florida played their way in because of what they did at the back end. And in the SEC tournament, Oklahoma was definitely in the conversation to potentially host. Liberty's already won a series at Florida this year. To start this season, the Flames took 2 out of 3. Florida's grown up every week and definitely has earned that top 16 seed.
And Peyton Graham plays for the Sooners, 3rd in the Big 12 with 16 home runs, cleaning that up from before. Number 4, national seed, the Virginia Tech Hokies. English Field is going to be rocking. John Sheff in his 5th season, former head coach at Maryland, their 11th NCAA tournament appearance. Drew Hackenberg, one of the best pitchers in the ACC. The regular season champs will face the Wright State Raiders out of the horizon. 9th tournament appearance, back-to-back appearances for the 2nd time in program history. Very experienced team. Gave Tennessee a run for their money last year in Knoxville. The Columbia Lions. Coach Brett Moretti. They're fired up for this. It's like they saw it before we did. 7th tournament appearance. Led the Ivy in scoring. Congratulations to the champs out of the Ivy. And they will face the Gonzaga Bulldogs and head coach Mark Mactoff. It is 19th season. Gonzaga was in that hosting conversation for a while. Came up short of the West Coast Conference tournament, but Runes, that's a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, this is a really interesting bracket. Virginia Tech, obviously very talented. You mentioned Wright State. Gonzaga's got the best rotation in the country, not named Tennessee. They can really pitch.
Gainesville winner matched up with the Blacksburg Regional. And Gonzaga road sweep at Oklahoma State in March. Tyler Rando can get it done. Gabriel Hughes on the mound. All right, we're halfway home. Halfway home here. The first 32 teams and that left side. What do you make of it?
How about Georgia Southern hosting for the first time? You love firsts that happen in our game, and I think it just continues to grow. And for Georgia Southern hosting for the first time, and a few others, Florida played themselves into a host in the last few weeks, and East Carolina finished about as hot as anybody in the country. So those two, if you look back 3 weeks ago, how they not host today in a good spot?
Yeah, guys, these 2 and 3 seeds are really, really good. The favorites are not going to have easy treks to the Super Regional. I think we could have a slew of upsets.
It's going to be very interesting. Again, you build in that COVID year. You got to have a lot of experienced teams, especially those mid-majors. We will see the kind of upsets we may see here in this NCAA tournament. Time now, speaking of that #1 overall seed in Tennessee, after the Capital One rewarding performance, taking a look back at that SEC tournament championship for Tennessee. KP, you were there. They did not trail at all in their room.
No, they didn't trail in the entire SEC tournament. Drew Gribble just wanted to make sure that one went out, and they did, and there's been a lot of them that have gone out this year for Tennessee. So regular season champs, conference tournament champs, and the Volunteers, they look really, really good right now. You do anything for the first time since '95, it tells you how good of a spot that program is in right now.
Had a 23-game win streak at one point, first SEC tournament crown in 27 years. Look at some of the accolades and accomplishments they have achieved. Tony Vitello, the head coach, unable to join us today. Getting ready for the NCAA tournament, leaving no stone unturned. Again, some other programs waiting to hear their name called. Some surprises, probably some disappointments as well. 32 teams left. Welcome back, Matt Schick, Kyle Peterson, and Mike Rooney. We're halfway home. And would ask for a quick comment, but there are teams waiting to find out. So
Would ask for a quick comment, but I'm not going to.
let's go. That was very quick. Stanford Regional, #2 overall seed. Head coach David Esker hosting a regional for the 20th time in program history. 16-game win streak, longest since KP was on that. Back in 1996, they will face the Binghamton Bearcats out of America East. Their 5th tournament appearance and their first since 2016. Jake Evans, best hitters in the league, 386. Let's move on down. The Gauchos, UC Santa Barbara out of the Big West. Andrew Checketts has the team back in there for the 13th time. 3 straight regionals for the first time in program history. Led the Big West in scoring. Jordan Sprinkle can scoot around those bases. Made Omaha back in 2016. How about Texas State? One of the great stories in college baseball out of the Sun Belt. Cal Peterson, Stephen Trout, this program, one of the great stories in the league.
How about Texas State goes 26-4 in the league? UC Santa Barbara goes 27-3 in the league. That's your 2 and your 3 seed right here for Stanford. It was a regular season and the conference tournament champs in the Pac-12. 6 guys, double-digit home runs. Coach of the year, freshman of the year, pitcher of the year, defender of the year in the Pac-12. They're pretty complete.
Stanford Regional is paired up with the College Park Regional and Maryland. And head coach Rob Vaughn hosting a regional for the first time in program history. Shipley Field at Bob Turtle Smith Stadium that opened in 1954. And they're going to host a regional for the first time on a little bit of a delay. Trust me, they were very excited, or will be. They will face the Long Island Sharks out of the NEC. They're in. 3rd NCAA tournament appearance and their first since 2018. Head coach Stan Perillo in his 6th season. Top pitching staff, turnaround average-wise in the league. Let's continue. Head coach Jim Penders and his UConn Huskies are back in 4 straight regionals for the first time since the late 1950s. Their 3rd 40-win season in program history. Austin Peterson can get it done out on the mound. And they will face Wake Forest Demon Deacons out of the ACC and head coach Tom Walter. They are in. Brett Lauder, one of the best pitchers in the country. And Mike Rooney, the Demon Deacons, fired up. And they're headed to an old ACC foe.
Yeah, Maryland, I mean, they're bringing in bleachers, lawn chairs, scaffolding, everything to pack that point. Maryland, 100 home runs and 70 steals. Really outstanding, complete team.
College Park Regional and the Stanford Regional paired up for the Super Regional the weekend of June 10th. Speaking of 10, time for the number 10 national seed, North Carolina Tar Heels. What a turnaround they have had over the last few weeks. Vance Honeycutt, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, one of just a couple of Division I players to be able to say that. ACC tournament champs will face champs out of the Colonial, making their first NCAA tournament appearance, the Hofstra Pride. There's some pride at their watch party. Brad Camerota, they're on the mound there for the Hofstra Pride. How about the VCU Rams out of the A-10 and head coach Sean Stifler, their 13th tournament appearance and back-to-back regionals for the first time in 20 years. 15-game win streak. Third longest active streak in all of Division I. Ooh, the Rams taking on the Dogs, and head coach Scott Strickland. Jonathan Cannon can certainly pitch it. He's their ace. Scott Strickland's Kyle Peterson headed to Chapel Hill.
Yeah, not too far for Georgia to go. We'll see how good Jonathan Cannon can be, because when he's right, he's one of the best in the country. For North Carolina, how about this? Started 16-2, finished 15-2. So started great, finished great, and back in a spot that program is used to seeing. That's hosting a region.
Used to going to Omaha, too. See if they can under Scott Forbes. They're paired up with the Stillwater Regional. Head coach Josh Holliday, 9th straight tournament appearance, 47 tournament appearances, 4th most by any school. Justin Campbell on the mound there for the Cowboys will face the Missouri State Bears out of the Missouri Valley, making their 12th tournament appearance and their first in 4 years. Dakota Katowski, 23 home runs leading the Missouri Valley. Grand Canyon, the Lopes are in. Out of the WAC. Perhaps one of those surprise teams. Andy Stankiewicz in his 11th season. They played in the regionals last year. They're back again. And they are fired up. Time to pack your bags, boys. Headed to Stillwater. And you're going to face, oh my goodness, the Arkansas Razorbacks and Dave Van Horn, the #1 overall seed last year. Kind of fell off a little bit this year, but certainly a team. Connor Nolan on the mound that you're going to have to pay attention to, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, really fun regional for players. Oklahoma State, Griffin Dorsey, one of the great power hitters in the game, and Grand Canyon shortstop Jacob Wilson is a future first-round pick.
Don't gloss over Griffin Dorsey.
No.
6'4", 250.
Future WWE guy.
Let's move on down. The #6 national seed, the Miami Hurricane. Here we are, 48 tournament appearance, 3rd most by any school. Andrew Walters can close you out at night. Their last national championship came in 2001, last Omaha appearance in 2016. They'll face the Canisius Golden Griffins out of the MAAC, their 4th tournament appearance, all coming in the last 9 years. Max Grant getting better than 400 for the Griffs. Ole Miss is in, and head coach Mike Bianco, perhaps a little bit of a surprise there. The Rebels out of the SEC, their 4th straight regional appearance, will face the Arizona Wildcats, and Chip Hale in his first season, back-to-back appearances. Ole Miss and Arizona. We're in a super regional last year.
Yeah, down at Tucson. So you got Gino DeMauro, who's got the U back right now, and I think a surprise to many that Ole Miss to Southern there.
Southern Miss, you knew they were going to host. It was announced last night. The Golden Eagles out of Conference USA going to pack Pete Taylor Park next weekend, hosting a regional for the 3rd time. And their 6th straight tournament appearance. The best pitching stats are on average in Division I. They'll face, fitting on Memorial Day, the Army Black Knights out of the Patriot League, and head coach Jim Foster, their 4th straight tournament appearance. Moving on down, out of the Atlantic Sun, Kennesaw State Owls, their 2nd appearance in this tournament, and their 1st since 2014 when they reached the Supers. They will face the LSU Tigers and head coach Jay Johnson in his first season coming over from Arizona, 34th tournament appearance and their 10th straight. They can swing it as well, more than 100 home runs, Mike Rooney.
Yeah, and the environment, LSU travels, by the way, so that environment will be great. The Southern Miss pitching staff, the LSU offense, that's a great matchup.
Coral Gables winner will face the Hattiesburg winner in a super. Moving on down, at Plainsman Park, Auburn Tigers made the College World Series back in 2019 without playing a home game in the postseason. They'll be playing some home games this postseason under head coach Butch Johnson. 23rd appearance. They'll face Southeast Louisiana Lions out of the Southland Conference. Their first appearance in 5 years. 69 bombs this year. Florida State is in. And head coach Mike Martin Jr., their 44th consecutive tournament appearance, that ties for the longest streak in tournament history with Miami. Parker Messick and the Noles will face the UCLA Bruins. A about a little tradition-rich regional there, KP?
Oh, I love the setup. Florida State and UCLA can really pitch. Florida State's got one of the best pitching staffs in the entire country. Auburn can get really offensive. Sonny DeShera has been a storyline really from week one for Auburn. You talk about the College World Series in 19 for Butch Thompson. Last year, 10 and 20 not in the tournament. Now this year they're hosting for the 5th time in school history. It's been a great job to get this program back.
Sonny DeShera and those Auburn Tigers will be fun to watch this postseason. And if they can make it out of there, they would face the winner of the Corvallis Regional, the number 3 national seed, the Oregon State Beavers at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, hosting for the 9th time. At the Pac-12 in scoring. They'll face New Mexico State, the Aggies out of the WAC. 5th NCAA tournament appearance, certainly a big stealer. Finished below 500, but it doesn't matter when you get to the conference tournament. Congratulations to Mike Kirby and the Aggies. More West Coast flavor. San Diego, Spanish for the Toreros, the West Coast Conference, 9th tournament appearance, holding the trophy. Ayla Bricketts and crew will open up against, in Corvallis, the Vanderbilt Commodores and head coach Tim Corbin, 2-time champ. They've been in 4 of the last 7 College World Series.
Yeah, the Beavers were the 2nd best team in the country for most of the year. Cooper Jerpy might be pitcher of the year. Vandy Enrique Bradfield can take over games and was doing so in the second half of the season.
The Auburn winner will take on the winner of the Corvallis. All right, that's it. All 64 have been unveiled. Are you doing a double check, Jay? What's your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it in a minute, but the immediate reaction is a few that get in and a few that don't get in, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. I think all of us expected to see NC State in the field based on what they did during the regular season. Obviously, we know what happened last year. They're not, and it's something that I know we can talk about as we go.
Yeah, another thing to me, guys, is the environments. I mean, Oklahoma State jumps out. They build this gorgeous ballpark, O'Brate Stadium, and that's going to host the postseason for the first time, and that's good for the sport.
Be very interesting. We do have the last 4 in, first 4 out. These are in alphabetical order, and to no one's surprise, NC State might actually be that first team out, regardless of the alphabet. Florida State, GCU's in, Liberty, Ole Miss. Those were your last 4 in. Those RPI ranks are there. There's always going to be contradictions. You can't go by the RPI. Is certainly just a tool and a guiding force. But Old Dominion, Rutgers, and Wofford on the outside looking in.